example, it appears here in this moment, and it is in red saying that recording and transmission have started. No, so I'm recording in this moment. Okay. So we are getting to the point of the first assignment. So all this course will be based on assignment like that. So the first assignment is for you to get familiar with Linux. We have already spent some classes on that. So this is the assignment. So we are going to do a group of 2 people, and you will work together. You will prepare your report, and just one of the 2 students will have to upload the report in Canvas. No? So I need you to talk with the people that are in the classroom and to agree with who you are going to work. When you did agree, please send me an email with copy with your partner saying that you will be working together. So I can, at the level of Canvas, I can assign you to the same group. And we should keep the same group for the whole semester. So be sure you choose somebody as soon as possible, and you choose somebody that you know that is a person that you can rely on this person. No? So if you invite the person to work here on campus, this person will come. So you avoid problem for that. So please go and start working on this assignment, because we have already made a lot of progress. We still have to see some little details. We will come back to that very soon. Okay? Okay. Today I'm going to make an introduction to computer security. So why is computer security important? So here I'm going to talk about what have happened historically. We do have cyber attack very frequently. Here I have some of the big ones that were done in the past few years. So for example, in 2013, Yahoo was victim of hacker, and all the users that have Yahoo at this time, the information was compromised. So the attacker got information, for example, like the name of the people, the email address, the password, the date of birth, the phone number. And when you create an account in the system, you can create security question. So if you forget your password, through the security question, you can recover your password, or you can change your password. So the security question also was compromised by the hacker. And the number of people that were affected is all the users that have Yahoo at this time. It's one of the biggest threat that was done historically. Equifax is a company that works with credit cards. They can give you your credit card, your credit score. And Equifax was attacked in 2017, and the hacker did get information of 143 million users. So the information that they get is the name of the user, the birth date, the driver license number, the social security number, and the address. But they did also get information of credit card. It was not all the 143 million people, just 200,000 people. And also they got scanned documents like the passport or the driving license that Equifax had in their server. And the people that have documents that were compromised, identity documents that were compromised, are 182,000 people. No? Marriott Hotel in 2018 also suffered attack from cyber criminal. So they got the information of all the people that were in the hotel between 2014 and 2018. So they get access, for example, to the name of the people, the credit card, the address, the passport number. And at the beginning, Marriott Hotel said that the number of people that were affected were 500 million people. And then making a more deeper investigation, they come down and say that the number of people that were affected is 383 million people. Target, we have a target here in Oxford. In 2013 was also attacked by cyber criminals, and the number of people that were affected is 40 million customers. No, so that was the first number that Target officially released, that 40 million people were affected. But people that were doing like independent research were thinking that it was much higher, the number of people that were affected. So this makes some pressure over the company, and the company finally admit that there were much more people affected, and the total number of people that were affected was 110 million. So that was very bad for Target at this time. The chief information officer have to resign because of this problem, and Target says that the cost of this breach was $160 million. In general, the company don't want to say that they were attacked because it's a bad reputation for the company. It shows that, well, the system has some weakness, so they don't want to tell the people. But now in the US, we have a law that forces the company to inform you if they were attacked. In the past, there were no law about that, so the company will try to hide it and not say anything to anybody, because it's, as I tell you, it's very bad for the company to know that it was hacked, but it's a very dangerous game, no? Because the information of people were exposed. If at one point the company hide this information and somebody realized that the company was hacked, they can sue the company and they can make a lot of damage to the company. So it's a very dangerous game. So now there is a law in the US that forces the company. And you see, when your company is hacked, they do inform you that the system was hacked. So please take that into consideration. If you have your credit card information stored in our system, maybe it's better just to cut the credit card information, cut the credit card and ask another credit card from your bank, no? So IBM have been recompiling information, and they publish something that is called the cost of data breach report, a report that is called the cost of the data breach. And there was a report in 2019. So in this report, IBM studied data breach all over the world, and they published some average. So for example, they say that the cost of a data breach worldwide, the average is $3.92 million. So it's worldwide, no? Not only in the USA. And that every time there is a data breach, the number of records that are affected is a little higher than 25,000. This is average, as I was telling you. And it takes in general like 280 days for the company to identify and to try to contain the breach. So many times the company doesn't know that it was attacked, no? And they take some time to realize that they were an attack, because in the past, attacker will try to do damage. Now, attacker try to stay inside your system and steal your information. It's more profitable for them to steal your information while you don't realize that you have been attacked. So of course, it's taken a long time to realize that we have been attacked. But once we realize, we need to know what happened. So it's take even longer to know to realize what happened, and we need to try to mitigate the problem or to contain the breach that the company has suffered. So many companies in the world are not like in the US. There is no law in the company that forces them to inform the customer. So those numbers might be higher because they include all the world. There are many countries where we don't have data security law at all for now, no? The US have been one of the first country to have very strong data security law, but many countries don't have. So in the US, IBM also did some research and have some data So they saw that the cost of a data breach in the US from 2006 to 2009 have increased. In 2006, the average cost was $3.54 million. And in 2019, which is like 3 years ago, it was $8.19 million. So it's much higher. There is a lot of money that we are playing. Company not only try not to tell the truth to the customer because of their reputation, but also you know that there is a breach, but can you close the website? For example, let's say that they hack Amazon. Can Amazon, why they resolve the problem, close the website? Can you imagine the number of people that work and live from Amazon? Your needs also as a customer to buy on Amazon. So we kind of live in a world that we might know that we have an attack, but we cannot close the store. We still have to run the store because it will be an even higher disaster if we decided to close the store. For example, a store like Amazon with millions of people buying worldwide cannot stop. It's work 24 hours. It's millions of transactions every day. Can they stop? They cannot stop. And if they stop, you will not be happy neither, no? That they stop. So all the time that you connect to Amazon, the web page is there. And you want it like that. You want it to be there. If it is not there, you will not be very happy. You will start having doubt about the security of Amazon. And that's not good. Okay, another point why security is important is the shortage of cybersecurity experts that we have worldwide, and especially in the US, no? So in the USA, we have a little more than 1 million people working in cybersecurity. We have job opening, and the total number of job opening is almost 600,000. So you can see there is a very big need of people that know about cybersecurity and have deep knowledge on that. So if you go on this area, you will find a lot of jobs. So in Alabama, this is the number of Alabama. There are 15,000 people that work in cybersecurity, and the number of open positions is more than 8,500. So those numbers came from a web page that is called CyberSeek, and I'm going to open it and show you the number, and you can investigate a little more of the state or the part of the world. So this is information about the US. So this is the number of people that are working in this moment in cybersecurity, more than 1 million. And we are looking about 600,000 people to employ. So that's a big, big number, as you can see, no? So let's see Alabama. Alabama is not a especially hot state. So here is the number of Alabama. We have 15,000 people that work in cybersecurity, and we are looking for almost 9,000 people in this moment. So as you can see, hot state will be Florida, Georgia, Texas, California, Colorado, Virginia, New York here. Those are the states that really require more attention and are looking for cybersecurity specialists. So as you can see, the market is huge. It's very huge, and we do need people in this area. So I'm going to, this is the outline that we are going to follow. I'm going to give some definition so we get used to the terminology that people use in cybersecurity. Then we are going to do an overview of what is cryptography. In cryptography, we have several algorithms. I'm going to talk about today symmetric algorithm. They are also known as private key algorithm. There we have all the algorithms that are called asymmetric algorithm. Today we will not cover them. We will cover them in the future. And there is also hash function like MD5 or secure hash algorithm 1 that we will cover in the future, but not deeply. We don't have time to see all this deeply. So a definition of security is there. It says security is the state of well-being of information and infrastructure in which the possibility of successful yet undetected theft, tampering, and disruption of information and service is kept low or tolerable. So this is very important, it's kept low. There is no way that you develop a system that is 100% secure. We will always have a security problem in a system that you will have. So what we try to do is to keep it as secure as possible, but it will not be 100% secure. So your bank account can be attacked, as you know. Anything that is on the internet is accessible from almost everywhere in the world. So there are threats that are very important, no? So there are 4 things that are pillar of security. It is confidentiality, authenticity, integrity, and availability. We have a slide to explain what is each one. So what is confidentiality? Confidentiality is the fact that when you communicate on the internet, you want to be sure that people that are not part of the conversation will not get the information, will not get a copy of, will not understand the conversation. Let's say that you connect to your bank account. You want the transaction that you are going to do be only between you and the computer of the bank. So even if you use internet, which is an unsafe network, you want a way that what you order to the bank, for example, transfer $100 from my account to the account of somebody else, you want this to be between you and the computer of the bank. So the way to do that is to use cryptography, because we go through an insecure network, which is internet, and people can copy all the packets that travel to the internet. So you want to be sure that even if somebody gets a copy of the communication between you on your browser and the bank, this person cannot understand what you were telling to the bank. Or this person cannot see, for example, if you are seeing your bank statement, this person cannot see the transaction, cannot see how much money you have in your bank account. So you want confidentiality. If I call somebody through WhatsApp, I also want confidentiality. I don't want somebody in the world be able to know what we are talking. So WhatsApp, we did have recently a lot of discuss about confidentiality in this kind of application that we have now, like WhatsApp. In some country, they put law and they force WhatsApp when there is some case in the judicial system. They want WhatsApp to give the information, the conversation of the person. So WhatsApp came and say, you know, a few months ago, I implement end-to-end privacy. I cannot give you the information because I don't have it. So the only 2 people that know what is going on in the conversation are the 2 people that are talking through WhatsApp, for example, no? So this is confidentiality. Authenticity is the fact that I want to be sure that if somebody pretends to be Eric Games, I want to be sure that this person is effectively Eric Games. So for example, when I connect to my bank account, I have to provide a login and I have to provide a password if I use one-way authentication. Now we are going more toward two-way authentication because it's more safe than one-way authentication. But my password, I should be the only one that know my password. My login, normally it's not a good idea to give your username to other people, but if somebody have your username, should not be an issue as long as you don't share your password and as long as you use strong password. You should use strong password because there are attacks that they do over weak password, and we will have a lab on that. No, you will have homework on that. So authentication is that. When Eric Games connects to his account, the bank wants to be sure I am Eric Games. So the bank will ask me my login, it will ask me my password, and if I already activate two-way authentication, it will maybe send me a code to my cell phone, and I will have to put this code in the text box that is there. So it's a little more secure than in the past because we have two-way authentication, not today. Integrity. Integrity, it's the fact that you cannot change, let's say that a non-authorized party cannot change the data. For example, when I go to my bank account, of course, if a cyber criminal will be interested in changing the balance. I have, let's say, $1,000, I would like to put it to $10,000. If you were allowed to do that, if there were a way to do it, there is a problem of integrity because you can change you can modify the data when you should not be able. In communication, let's say that you find a website in the internet and you want to buy something in this website. This website is run by hacker, for example. You don't know that at the beginning. It's much cheaper than in Amazon, and you go to this website. So you have a communication between your browser and the website, the e-commerce site. And this communication, let's say it doesn't have to be a website from a hacker, but this communication, hacker can see it. And if hackers are able to change what you are talking with the website, this will be an integrity problem. For example, let's say that I communicate with my bank and I say, make a transfer to this person. And somebody in the internet intercept the communication and modify. And for example, I'm transferring to my sister and this person modify and transfer to his own bank account. So that there is a problem of integrity, okay? The data have been changed in the communication. I want to avoid that. On availability, we already talked about that, is the fact that the service has to be up all the time. When I need the service, if I'm a legitimate user, I need the service to be there. If the service is not running, that's a problem. So this is availability. The service has to be there for the legitimate user all the time that it should be there. Okay, some definition, for example, what is a threat or a vulnerability? It's a violation of security, no? So they will come with, for example, design in the flow design, problem in the flow design. For example, the people that program, they do bug. So sometimes the hacker will try to take advantage of this bug to enter your system and to escalate privilege. No, maybe I enter the system as a normal user, but taking advantage of all the bug or for the problem that the system have, I escalate my privilege and I become the administrator of the user of the system. No, other things that will create threat and vulnerability, for example, is misconfiguration of devices. Also, when you get a new device, many times there are demo accounts, or there are some accounts that are pre-established, and you don't do anything with those accounts. The password of this account is well known. The name of this account is well known. So if you keep that and you don't change it, you create a security problem there, no? So an attack is the action to violate security, as we can see here. In an attack, there is the concept of intending to do something, no? For example, let's say that you are a network administrator in a company, you misconfigure some router or some server, the system does not work as it should be. This is not an attack. An attack will be that somebody change something in the system and make it behave differently. So there is an intent to make damage or to gain some information from the system. That will be an attack, no? But misconfiguration of devices, it's a weakness of the company. The employee don't have enough time maybe, or the employee don't have the knowledge. So he misconfigured the device, and that's another problem, no? Okay, in our exercises, we will have many times 3 people involved. So we will use these 2 people, which is Alice and Bob. They are lovers over the internet. And they exchange information between them. And there is a hacker. The hacker is called Trudy. So Trudy is going to make their life difficult. So Trudy wants some time to get copy of the conversation between Alice and Bob. Sometimes Trudy wants to modify what they are talking to each other. Sometimes she wants to put new message that was not generated by them. Okay, so we are going to use always this name, Alice, Bob. So they are the legitimate user, and Trudy is the attacker, the one that wants to make their life difficult, no? So here we are going to talk about what is eavesdropping. So eavesdropping is listening to a conversation and the people are not aware that you are listening. So you secretly listen to the conversation. So for example, here we have Alice and Bob. Alice is sending something to Bob, and Trudy here is in the middle of the conversation. She gets a copy of what they are talking, but neither Alice nor Bob know that Trudy is getting the information that they are exchanging, okay? Because Trudy do that secretly. And it's very difficult to detect that somebody is listening to your conversation. It's difficult to detect. It's why you need cryptography. So even if they have a copy, you don't worry, because they were not able to go from the ciphertext to the plain text, the encrypted text to the clear text, no? They will not able. So it's why you need that. So this is called eavesdropping. Integrity attack. Let's say that Alice and Bob are communicating, and here we have Trudy, and Trudy changed something in the system so that when Alice communicates through to Bob, she will receive a copy of the packet. She can, for example, she can modify them, possibly, and send them back to Bob. So when she modifies the packet, we call that an active attack. We will see that. We have a slide on that. But she can get a copy. She can delay the response. So for example, Alice sent an email to Bob at 8 o'clock in the morning. Since she modified the routing of the packet, that's go through her computer, and in her computer she can store the information and decide to send the email hours after. So it's, for them it's very difficult, if she do that, to realize that there is somebody doing some damage. They will think, okay, the system was slow at this time, it's why I get the email hours after, no? So when Trudy is able to modify the content, she modified the integrity of the data. So this is an integrity attack, when I'm able to modify the content. Authenticity attack, we talked about that previously. So for example, Trudy can masquerade herself and pretend to be Alice and send, for example, information to Bob. It might be very challenging for Bob to realize that the message is not sent by Alice, because Trudy did what we call, she masquerade her identity, or there is a term in English that is, she interpersonate the identity of Alice. So Bob have the impression that it's Alice that is sending the information, but at the end, it's not Alice. So of course, Trudy is using a identity that she stole. It's a face identity because she pretends to be Alice when she is not, no? So it's impersonation attack. Availability. There are many ways for you to make attack on availability. So the system is not available. So the first way is you damage the physical part. For example, you cut the wire. If you cut the wire, you have a problem. We cannot access the remote site because there is no connection anymore. So it's a way to have availability problem. Another way is, for example, you gain access to the system and you modify the software. And you make that the software does not give the service that it should be giving. You may modify things that are very difficult to detect. Because of course, if you make a big modification, the people will realize, and you don't want, the hacker don't want that. The hacker wants to stay in the system for years, spy, get all the information that they need, make money. If they are cyber criminal, if they are another government, they want to spy what other country is doing and have all this information to use against the country after, no? So normally they try to be not detected. Another way for a problem of availability is a DOS attack, denial of service attack. So the hacker will overwhelm the server with petition. And for every petition that the hacker do, the server have to use resources, network bandwidth, CPU, RAM. So there is so much petition that the server is running out of resources. When Alice wants to access the server that is run by Bob, she will not be able because the server is so overwhelmed, don't have enough memory, don't have enough CPU power that she cannot access the site anymore. So this is called a availability problem. The legitimate user cannot access the resources because the hacker, with sending fake petition, have overwhelmed the server, and the server is out of resources, so it cannot process the legitimate queries. So this is very easy to do a DOS attack, and they are maybe the most frequently attacked in this moment in the internet because they are easy to do. There are two variants of DOS attack. There is one that is called distributed DOS attack. It's making it much more difficult to detect it. If you do a DOS attack from one point, it is easier to detect it, so people do what we call distributed DOS attack. So DOS attacks are frequent, especially against government. No, let's say that you don't like the actual president of the country. You and other people can do a DOS attack against anything that belongs to the government to show that the government is not even able to run services to the public, no? Because when you want to renew your passport or you want to renew your driving license, the site does not answer because it is overwhelmed by petition of the hacker that are not looking to renew their passport, but they start all these petitions that consume resources in the server and make the server not be able to answer your legitimate query, no? Or petition. Okay, the difference between passive attack and active attack. In the passive attack, it's you don't modify the information. Since you don't modify the information, it's very difficult to detect. So for example, when you eavesdrop, when you listen secretly, it's a passive attack. It's very, very, very difficult to detect, no? And it's very good attack, by the way, no? Because getting the information of the other is something that have a lot of value. Okay, for example, when we were in the coronavirus race to get the vaccine, the US suffered a lot of this kind of attack. They wanted to get the information of the company here, like Moderna and all these companies that were working on the vaccine. And it's the case of many companies here. They do suffer this kind of attack where they try to get the information that they have, no? So active attack is much easier to detect because there is something that you modify, as the hacker modify. So for example, if a hacker do a authentication attack, it will pretend to be a legitimate user. So there is something that the hacker changed. This can at one point be detected. If the people have a strong security policy in the company, they will be able to detect that there were something wrong with this authentication, no? Replay attack is when you, for example, you copy a communication and hours after you try to repeat it in the internet. So let's say that you know somebody that on the internet and this person give you a service, but you don't know that this person is also a cyber criminal, and you pay this person some money. This person maybe can copy the transaction when you pay to this person some money. This transaction can be encrypted. So the person cannot decrypt it, but the person knows that this transaction is the one where you pay. So this person can keep this transaction and hours after try to repeat the transaction, try to send the packet back to the internet to see if the same transaction, the same banking transaction can be repeated. Okay, so this is replaying message. So you do inject in the network message that should not be there. So there is a way to detect that there is an attack. When you modify, so you play with the integrity. Of course, if I say transfer $100 and when I look at my bank statement, it was $200, I start having doubt about what was going on. Did I make a mistake when I put the amount that I have to transfer? But there is something. There were a modification of the data. There is a modification of the integrity of the transmission. So this can be normally detected. Denial of service attack is also an active attack because people are actively trying to overwhelm your server. So your server is not able to answer legitimate petition, and you can detect it, no, in general. So active attack, you should be able to detect them. So it's not always possible, but we should have a way to detect them. Passive attack is very difficult to detect them. Okay, I'm going to do now an overview of cryptography. We are going to see some definition. Then we will see an encryption algorithm that was done by Julius Caesar many years ago. And it's a very basic encryption algorithm that will be our first encryption algorithm. And it's a symmetric encryption algorithm. So what is the plain text? The plain text is the original text. For example, a text in English or a file that you want to transfer. This is the plain text. This is the information that I want to send across an insecure network. So I cannot send it in plain text because if I send it in plain text, the hacker or Trudy will get a copy. What is the ciphertext? This is the coded message. So you will use an encryption algorithm and you will go from the plain text to the ciphertext. When you have the ciphertext, you send it over an insecure network. You should not worry about copy, people making copy of that, because they should not able to go back to the plain text. This is what we want with encryption algorithm. What is a cipher? A cipher is an algorithm to encrypt. So we have a version to encrypt and a version to decrypt, of course, no? So this is a cipher, and we have a lot of cipher available that have developed it in many different places in the world. What is a key? You are familiar with the notion of key. We call them key, we call them password. We can say, for example, the length of the key is that much character or that much bit. So you are familiar with what is a key. Encrypt. Encrypt is when you go using a cipher, when you go from the plain text to the ciphertext. So you encrypt. Another way to say encrypt is encipher. Decrypt is the reverse operation. So the recipient will receive the ciphertext and will need to go from the ciphertext to the plain text. So it will decrypt. Another way to say decrypt is decipher. Cryptography is a science where the people try to develop new algorithm, new encryption algorithm, new hash algorithm. Cryptoanalysis is another science. The people that work in cryptoanalysis try to find weaknesses in encryption or hash algorithm. So they work on it and they try, and if they find it, they publish a paper on that telling, I find a weakness in this algorithm. Of course, they get good reputation when they do that. No, they find a weakness. And when you find a weakness in an algorithm, if the weakness is serious, you have to go away from this algorithm. You cannot use it anymore. Cryptology include both, include cryptography, the development of algorithm, and cryptoanalysis, try to find weaknesses in algorithms that already exist, no? So let's see a little about the algorithm. The number of keys that we are going to use can be 0 key, 1 key, or 2 keys. So for example, in the hash function, we don't have keys. For example, when you use MD5 or SHA1, secure hash algorithm 1, you don't have key. When you use secret key cryptography or symmetric key cryptography, also it is called, you have just 1 key. So both parties, the sender and the receiver, need to have the same key. So they need a way to talk to each other to agree on a key. And in public cryptography or asymmetric cryptography, each user have 2 keys. One that is called the public key and one that is called the private key. So the public key is public, and you publish it in your web page, or there are entities that will keep your public key. Now, your private key, you should not give it to nobody. You should keep it very secretly, as we will see. So remember that everybody have a pair of public and private key, as we will see when we see public cryptography. So the algorithm can be based on different operations. For example, substitution. Substitution is when you change one character with another one. For example, if I change the A with a P, a B with a C, etc., I'm doing substitution. Transposition is when you take the clear text and you start moving around the letters. You scrabble everything, so it's not easy to know what was there. Of course, the recipient will have to order the text so it can understand the text. So there is an algorithm for you to move around all the letters, so it's a text that we cannot understand, and the recipient will have another algorithm to put them back where they have to go. Okay, so this will be transposition. And when we will work on algorithm can work on block. So for example, block of 64 bits or block of 128 bits. So I take a block, I encrypt the block, or I take a block of ciphertext and I decrypt the block, or they can also work on stream. So on both block or stream. So There are two possibilities when you develop encryption algorithm. So one possibility is that you develop an encryption algorithm and you make it secret. For example, in your company, let's say that you have 10 employees that work in a very secret project. They use an encryption algorithm and only these 10 people know the encryption algorithm. Only them. You don't publish it. So it has the benefit that very few people know the encryption algorithm. But there is something that will always happen. One of the 10 people that work in your company, at one time, one of them will be mad at the company. And when this person is mad at the company, this person will try to do damage to the company. And one of the damage is I know the encryption algorithm that you are using, guy. So I'm going to give it to people that will make damage to you. So it's never a good policy to have something secret between a group of people, because you can be sure one of them or several of them at one point will make this algorithm known by other people that should not know it. So it's very dangerous to rely on algorithms that we make secret, because they will not be secret at the end, and other people will have access to them. It can be access to them through torture, no? So let's say that we are in a war, in a war. You capture the enemy, you torture the enemy, and under torture the enemy can talk, unfortunately, no? So this is something that exists. So making secret like that is not a good idea. So the other one is you develop an algorithm and you publish it. You make the document of the algorithm public. So you publish it in a conference or a journal. So you want cryptanalysis people to look at your algorithm and to try to find weaknesses in your algorithm. So the good thing when you make it public, if there is a weakness in your algorithm that you didn't see, but somebody else will see it, you will be aware that your algorithm have a weakness, and you might decide to change to another algorithm. If you keep it secret, the cryptanalysis community don't have access to your algorithm, so they cannot try to find weaknesses in your algorithm, and they cannot warn you about, oh, your algorithm do have weaknesses, I did find that. So be aware that it will have weaknesses. You will see what you do if you keep using it or if you go to another algorithm. No, so it's much better to be open with the algorithm like we are now. For example, if you look, all the algorithms that we use in commercial transaction, they are none. They are published algorithm, and there is a bunch of cryptanalysis worldwide that try to find weaknesses in them. So it's not, for example, an algorithm that develop a bank, a specific bank, and it's only used in this bank. No, they are all widely known and all widely studied to find any weaknesses that they have, no? Okay, so people that work in cryptanalysis, when they try to find weaknesses in your algorithm, they can have three different possible cases. For example, one case, they just have some fraction of cybertext. When they just have that, it's very difficult for them to try to find weaknesses in your algorithm or to try to reverse engineer your algorithm, because they just have fraction of ciphertext. They capture your communication and they have fraction of your ciphertext, but they don't have more information. Another possibility that have cryptanalysis that help them is that they have some pair of plain text ciphertext, but they don't have many pair, but they do have some pair. So when you have, oh, this plain text will go to this ciphertext, you already have some information about the algorithm. And it's a little easier to reverse engineer the algorithm. And the third case is that you do have the black box in your hand, you don't know what is inside, but you can put plain text and get ciphertext on as many pairs as you want. So you can generate millions of pairs if you want of plain text, ciphertext. So in this case, it's much easier to reverse engineer the algorithm. Okay, it can be very challenging to try to do it because we don't have the computing power. Most of the time, all the algorithms are known, but what we don't have is the computing power to, for example, to break the ciphertext. Okay, so there are some things that are very important, and dissuasion is important. Why it's important? Because what I'm going to explain here. So let's say that a hacker got a communication in the internet. This communication is encrypted. And the hacker knows that, okay, if he can break this communication, it will earn $500. Now, to break this communication, maybe we might have to spend $2,000. So does it worth the value? No, because I will spend $2,000 to break the communication, and I will earn $500 at the end. So I'm not going to spend my time. A hacker is not going to spend his time to try to break the communication because he will not gain enough money from breaking it. He will spend more money to break the communication, to break the ciphertext, that it will earn after he gets the clear text, the plain text. No? Another thing that is important is time. When we use brute force attack, we need a lot of time. So let's say that we are in a war with another country and we capture their transmission. The transmission is encrypted. We do have a powerful computer, and this powerful computer can break the transmission in 1 month. Okay, so maybe we decide, let's try to break this transmission. When we break the transmission 1 month after, we realize that the transmission was saying, attack this city tomorrow. So when we get the clear text information, it doesn't have value anymore because the attack was done 29 days ago. And we know that they did attack the day after the transmission. So at this point, okay, we know what we know about the transmission. We have the transmission in clear text 1 month after, but it's useless. It doesn't have value anymore. So this is something that is very important, that if people capture your traffic in the internet with the bank, they can come back to the clear text. But it might take them a long time to do it. Sometimes the time is so long that the factor of dissuasion, like don't do it because it's too costly. And when you get the answer, when you get the clear text, you might even be died because it can be years and years before a computer can give you the answer, can put it in clear text. But there is always a way to go to the clear text, always. Using, for example, brute force attack. But it can be a lot of years before you get the result. So here we have some example. Let's say that I use a key of 32 bits. If I use a key of 32 bits, we have 2 to the power of 32 different keys. So as you can see, we have 4.3, 10 to the 9 keys. That's a lot of 4.3 billion keys, isn't it? This is billion keys. Let's say that I have a computer that is not very powerful, and the computer can try 1 key per microsecond. In this computer, if you use this key, it will take 35.8 minutes to break the ciphertext. Now, let's say that the government have a much powerful computer, of course, than mine. And this computer can try 1 million key per microsecond. If you use this key, it will take the government or the criminal organization, it will take them 2.15 seconds to break the ciphertext. Now you are a little more conscious of the problem. You use keys that are longer, 56 bits. This is the number of different keys that exist. In a small computer, if you want to break it, a computer that will try 1 key per microsecond, it will take 1,142 years. In one powerful computer, 10 hours. Now you go with key of 128 bits, which is the key that they recommend, or even higher. Look at the number of keys that you have. The small computer, look at the number of years that it will take to break the ciphertext. But the powerful computer also. So if you capture the information of the enemy, and you have a powerful computer, and you know that the enemy is using a key of 128 bits, will you try to break the conversation of the enemy? No. Look at so many years. You will not be there. Your son will not be there. Your grandson will not be there. Maybe the son is not there anymore in this amount of years. Why we are going to try to do it? And you start the program today. In 10 years, they already make a computer that is much, much faster. And the best thing that you can do is abort what you are doing and start it with the new computer, because the new computer will reduce the number of years. So it will not be any more 10 to the 18, it might be 10 to the 17. But it's a lot of years, still a lot of years. So there are many factors of dissuasion. Even if we can get the clear text, it's too much, too costly. A computer that will do that is very expensive. Who can afford it? Big company, government. But very big company. And even they can afford it, they might don't spend time on that. Okay, because they want to run their research projects over the big computer. And not, for example, well, it depends on the company, no? Okay, we are going to talk about symmetric algorithm, and we are going to see the produce CSR algorithm. So before we start, let's see what is a symmetric algorithm. So here you have the sender, and here you have a transmission media, which is unsafe. And here you have the receiver. So when we use symmetric encryption, the sender needs an algorithm to encrypt. And this algorithm have two inputs: the plain text, what I want to transmit, and a key, a symmetric key, which means the receiver needs the exactly same key. So using the encryption algorithm and these two inputs, I will generate what is called the ciphertext. This ciphertext will travel on unsecure media. So hacker will get copy. No problem, because they should not come back to the clear text for what we just saw. It will take them years and years to try to go back to the clear text, unless the algorithm has some weaknesses. So it's why it's very important to publish your algorithm to see if your algorithm has some weaknesses. So the receiver will have an algorithm to decrypt. This algorithm will have two inputs: a key, which is the same key that we share, and the ciphertext. And it will generate the plain text, which is exactly a copy of what the sender is sending. So this is the idea of symmetric algorithm. It is called symmetric algorithm because we use the same key to encrypt and to decrypt. A symmetric algorithm use the public key to encrypt and the private key to decrypt. So it's why it's called asymmetric, because we don't use the same key to encrypt and to decrypt. Here you will use the same key. So of course, the two parties need a way to exchange the key in a very secret manner, so nobody know about the key. So they need to find a way to exchange the key. So what are the requirements of symmetric encryption? We need strong algorithm, and the key must only be known by the sender and the receiver. This is a problem, because if I see the person every day, I can talk with the person, okay, let's use this key. But if I am here and the person is in Washington, we need to agree a key, and it's not easy, okay? Because we can say, okay, we are going to make a phone call, and on the phone call we are going to agree. But maybe you are so important that the people that are spying your phone call also. So if you change the key by phone, they might have the key. So it's why you need a way to be sure that you are going to exchange the secret, the key, the password with the other person in a safe way. So let's say that E is the encryption algorithm. D is the decryption algorithm. K is the key. P is the plain text. And C is the ciphertext. So when you encrypt the plain text using the key, you will get the ciphertext. When you take the ciphertext and decrypt it using the symmetric key, you will go back to the plain text. Okay? So look at a property of symmetric algorithm is that if you take the plain text, you encrypt it using the key, the result, which is the ciphertext, you decrypt it using the key, you get exactly the same plain text. So encrypting and decrypting must return to an identical copy of the plain text. Of course, we also have this property. If you have the ciphertext, you decrypt it, you go to the plain text. And you encrypt it, you go to exactly the same ciphertext, no? Okay, so we are going to talk about the substitution algorithm. So remember, substitution is when I change a character to another character. For example, I change A for a P, a B for X. This is called substitution because I substitute a letter for another letter, or a character for another character. Or I substitute a sequence of bits for another sequence of bits. Okay, so Julius Caesar is one of the first person that we know that was using encryption algorithm. So he was in the Roman Empire. He was a very strategic military, and he get most of the country around the Mediterranean Sea. He was in Italy, and all the country around the Mediterranean Sea, it's arrived to conquer all these countries. So he have general that he will send very far away. And he need to communicate with this general. So of course, at this time, we didn't have communication as we have today. He will just send somebody on a horse. Somebody will ride a horse with a message. And of course, sometime the person will be captured by the enemy and the enemy will know the message. So he decided to create a way to encrypt the message. So if they capture the person that ride the horse with the message, they get the message is encrypted, they don't understand it. That was the idea. So it makes something that was very easy at this time comparing to the algorithm that we have today. But it was enough at this time, no? So what he will do, he will take the alphabet that have 26 letters and shift all the letter a certain number of positions. So for example, if you look here, we have the alphabet from A to Z. And it, for example, it will decide to shift it 3 positions. So if you shift A 3 position, 1 position, 2 position, 3 position, A will be substituted by D. This is what I'm showing here. A become a D. B, if you shift it 3 position, 1 position, 2 position, 3 position, B will become a E. So B will become a E. So we have the plain text here and the cipher text here. So let's see, for example, X, if you shift it 3 position, 1, 2, 3, it will become a X will become an A. It's circular. After X, we come back to A. So this will be a key of 3. Here we have example to show that it is circular. So outside we have the plain text. Inside we have the cipher text. So if I decide to shift 1 position, A will become a B. B will become a C. C will become a D, blah, 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 blah. Z will become an A. So this is the plain text and this is the cipher text. If I shift 2 positions, A will become a C. B will become a D. If I shift 3 positions, A will become a D. B will become a E. So this is what it will do. So for example, let's say that to take the 2 lovers that we have, Alice and Bob. Let's say that Alice wants to send a message to Bob, and this message say, meet me after in the park. And she is going to use this algorithm of Julius Caesar. And she is going to use a shift of 3. So she will send this message. Let's see why she will send this message. And this will be the cipher text. So she will say, M will become a P. So this M, I have to change it with a P. E will become a H. So this E, H. This E, H. This E, H. This E, H. Every E will be substituted by a H. A T here, let's see, T will become a W. So she will replace T with a W. Then we have a M will become a P. So she put a P here, okay? So she do that letter by letter, and the encrypted message is this one. And she sent that to Bob. If Trudy is not aware about the algorithm and all this, she will not understand what they are talking about. That was what Julius Caesar was doing at the beginning. Of course, that was very naive, but that's a long time ago. Today, that's if you do that, they will know what you are saying, of course, no? So you cannot use an algorithm like that. So there is, if I ask you, how many different keys can we have with this cipher algorithm? So this is key 3, for example, and the key is an integer, and it's the number of time you will shift each letter. So how many different keys can you have? 25, yeah, 26 we can say, but no more. Because if I do, for example, if I shift it 26 times, I come back to the same alphabet. If I do it 27 times, it's the same thing as doing it 1 time. Okay, because we have 26 letters. So if we take the A, we shift it 26 times, it's come back to be the A. If we do it 27, it will become the B. So of course, it's modular 26. So we only have 25 key, from key 1 to key 25. If I use key 0, it's the same thing. Of course, I don't want to send the clear text, because if they capture the guy that go on the host, they will have the clear text. And there is no purpose to send a message, a secret message in clear text, no? So we can say that we have 26, 25 key. Okay, that's okay. So if we want to put that in a computer, we can do the following, no? We can assign to each letter an integer. So for example, A will be 0, B will be 1, C will be 2, up to Z, which is 25. And we will have this formula. So this formula will be to encrypt. And these two formula, I use any of the two, will be to decrypt. So let's see, for example. Let's say that we use the key 3 and we want to show that A will become a D. And we want to program that. So A is 0. So the plain text will be 0. 0 plus the key. 0 plus 3 will be 3. 3 modulus 26 will be what? Will be 3. So I look here, 3 is a D. So A become a D. Let's show that X will become a A. So what is the value of X in the plain text? 23. So I put here plain text 23. 23 plus the key, 23 plus 3 is 26. 26 module 26 is 0. So I look who is 0? 0 is A. So X will become A. Okay? Let's try the Z. What is the value of Z? 25. So the plain text is 25. 25 plus the key, which is 3. 25 plus 3 is 28. 28 module 26 is 2. And 2 is a C. So a Z will become a C. You see? So this is the formula to encrypt. Let's see the formula to decrypt. I'm going to use this one. So let's say that you want to show that a Q will become an N. So the Q is 16. So the cipher text is 16 because you have a Q and you want to come back to the clear text, which is N. So you put 16 here in C. 16 plus 26 will be 42, no? Isn't it? 42 minus 3 will be 39. 39 modulus 26 will be what? 12, isn't it? So you look at the 12. Is it correct what I say? Let's do it again. Let me take the calculator because I don't want to make any mistake. So we want to show that what I did say what a Q is an N. It was what I was saying. Okay, let's say that we want to show that a Q is an N. So a Q is 16. So you will do 16 plus 26 minus 3, which is 39. Yeah, we did get 39. And 39 modulus, 26 is 13. So you go and check for 13. 13 is a N. So you have shown that a Q will become an N. Okay? Let's show, for example, that a F will become a C. So what is F? F is 5. So if I do 5 plus 26 minus 3, the result will be 28. And 28 modulus 26 will be 2. So the plain text will be 2. And what is 2? 2 is a C. So I just show that the F will become a C. A cipher F will be a clear C. Okay? Good for everybody? So, okay. So here is the formula to decrypt. And I have this ciphertext. I'm telling you, we know that the person that encrypts the original message as key use 3. Can you please tell me what was the plain text? So we are just going to apply what we have just seen, no? So help me with that. What should we do? Let me open paintbrush or paint, and we are going to work on it to try to find the clear text. So let me see if I can have both. Okay, like that. So look at the first one is the I. This I is ciphertext. And I need to know what will be I in the plain text. So we have an I. So I is 8. So what I know that the ciphertext is 8. Let's apply this formula to know the plain text. So the plain text will be the ciphertext, which is 8, plus 26, minus the key. We know that the key was 3, modulus 26. So 8 plus 26 will be 34. 34 minus 3 will be 31, isn't it? Modulus 26. And 31 modulus 26 will give me 5, isn't it? And 5 is a F. So the I, is a F. So the plain text starts with a F. Let's do the second character. It's a L. If it's a L, what is the ciphertext? It's 11. So let's compute the plain text. It will be 11 plus 26 minus 3 module 26. So it will be 11 plus 26 will be 37. 37 minus 3 will be 34. 34 modulus 26 will be what? 8, isn't it? And I look here, 8 is an I. So we have Fi at the beginning, isn't it? So if you do it, if you keep doing, it will be find the secret. FINDTHESECRET. No, it's find something. I don't remember, but let me see if I have it here. Find the plain text. It is find the plain text. Okay? So you can do it. By the way, we have a computer here. We are going to ask the computer to help us to find that we will go from here to here. So look at, there is a powerful tool that I'm going to show you. I'm going to maximize my Linux machine. View full screen. Okay. So there is a command that is called translate, TR. So look at how TR works. I'm going to put, for example, hello Jacksonville. And I'm going to say translate, for example, let's put E in, let's put star. E in star. So there is an E here. It was translated to a star. And there is another E here. It was translated to a star. Okay. I can say, for example, translate E in, let's say, 8 and A in, for example, $. So look, the E will be translated in 8. So we have an E here, and there is an 8. We have an E here, there is an 8. And we say the A, in Jacksonville we have an A, I translate it in $. So you can do things that are much more powerful. For example, translate the alphabet. Here we have a range of 26 letters from A to Z in the lowercase alphabet. So look, hello Jacksonville. You see? So if I give you Let's do the inverse operation. I give you find the plain text, and I ask you encrypt that with the encryption of Julius Caesar with a key of 3. So we have echo find the plain text. I want to do a rotation of 3. So I want to use Julius Caesar, and I want to use 3 as the number of shifts. How can I use the tr command, the translate command, to do that? So you can say, for example, A, B, C, D, E, F. I hope I didn't make any mistake in the alphabet. Of course, the translate this to, let me copy it and just modify it. So here we have the whole alphabet. And I'm going to say translate it to, so we need A will become a C. No, A will become a D. So X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Isn't it? I'm saying here, translate A into a D, a B into a E. For example, here, if you look, a W into a Z, a X into a A. This is exactly what we have with the key tree. A into a D, for example, a X into a A. Okay, this is exactly what we have. So I'm going to hit enter and look at the answer. Let's verify this answer with what we have in the slide. Put them so we can see both. So it's ILQGWKH. Okay, as you can see, it's exactly the same one. No, this one and this one that is there. So I can use the translate command and do that. So very easy. Okay, now we are going to work on the side of the crypto analysis, which means that we want to break a code. So we have this message that is there. We have this. We don't know what key the person has used, but we want to go back to the original message. What can we do? You have that. And this is, I want to go back to the clear text. What can I do? So I say, I should say, there is only 25 possible key. So let me try to decrypt this with key 1 to see what we get. If we get something that I understand, that was the key. If not, I will try with key 2, decrypt with key 2. If I understand what is the meaning, this is English text, that was the key. So I will have to try for key 1, key equal 1, up to key 25. So just 25 cases. You see? So at the end, it's very easy to break because it's only 25 possible keys. Nothing to see what we have today, 2 to the power of 128. It's a bunch of keys, 2 to the power of 120. Here it's 25 key. That was the first algorithm that we know. Maybe other people have used algorithm, but historically we didn't know if they used, but we know that Julius Caesar was using this. So let's do a Python program that will try key 1, key 2, up to key 25, and will show us all the possibility. And one, we will understand it, and that will be the key that the person used, and we will know the message. So let's do a Python program. So you are going to help me to the Python program. So before we do the Python program, I want to review some notion with you with Python. So how do you go from a letter to the ASCII code in Python? There is a ORD command, ORD function. What is the ASCII code of A, capital A? 65. Look, you know the table, no, the ASCII table? Let me, man ASCII. Look, for example, they say that A, the ASCII code is 65. B, the ASCII code is 66. Up to Z, the ASCII code is 90, as you can see, no? So if I ask, what is the ASCII code of capital Z? 90. So we do have a function in Python to go from a character to the ASCII code. Now we have another function. You give an ASCII code, it gives you the character. For example, what is this function? CHR. What is CHR of 65? So 65 is the ASCII code of A. So CHR of 65 should give me A. If I do 66, it will be B. If I do 67, it will be C. Blah, 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 blah. Up to 90, 90 should be Z. So we do have a function to go from the ASCII code to the character, and from the character to the ASCII code. Now, when you do a program in Python, let's call it break the code .py. When you do a program in Python, let me put the hash bound first. So we are going to use Python 3. So it is in user bin Python 3. Let's say that, let me change my write so I can execute it, okay? So I can execute it. It will show nothing for now because there is nothing inside, no instruction. Okay, if you type argument or parameters like, let's put hello, let's put Miami, and you execute that, there is a way to access this parameter. What is the way? So all this will be stored in an array. This array is called sys.argv. ARGV for argument value. So let me do a small program that will tell us this is the argument sub 0, this is argument sub 1, and this is argument sub 2. So let me edit it first. So to do that, I'm going to import the sys package. And let me print the total number of argument is, and I want to show it. And I'm going to use the format method on the string class. So there is an array that is called sys.argv. So this is the array. If I want the length of the array, I put length. Let me execute this program in this moment so we can see what we have done. It is called break the code, and let me put it alone. So you see the total number of argument is 1. Yeah, there is only 1. Let me put, for example, Orlando, Miami. How many arguments we have now? 3. If I put Jacksonville, how many arguments we have in the line here? 4. Sub 0, sub 1, sub 2, sub 3. Okay, 4 in total. Okay. Now I want to show this is argument sub 0, this is argument sub 1, sub 2, sub 3. What can I do? I can do a for, no? For I in range, I start in 0, I go up to the length of this array. So the length of this array is called sys.argv. And for each time that I pass, I'm going to print argument sub I is, and I'm going to show it. By the way, I want to show the argument of a 2 character. So the 1 and the 10, the 9 and the 10 that will be aligned. The ones with the ones, the 10s with the 10s. Okay, so I'm going to put here argument. So I'm going to put I here for this one. And for the other one, I'm going to put a sys.args sub I. So I close format, I close the print. Okay. Let me run that to see. So you say argument sub 0. Look, 2 character, no? Argument sub 0 is this one, argument sub 1. Why I want 2 character? Because if we have a lot of arguments, one more at least. So look at the 9 and the 10 are aligned. That's why I say, show me the integer on 2 character, no? So those are the arguments. So we already know how to work with the argument. So think about how to solve that. And we will do it, we will do that at the beginning of next class. Remember, I need an email from you with copy with your partner saying you are going to work with this person. Send that as soon as possible. Start working on the first homework. Okay? Do you have any question? I see you next week.
I'm it's gonna be